brothers and sisters. Good morning, everyone. This morning we will continue studying the book of Exodus. Next, we will study Exodus chapter 10. That is, chapter 10 is the 8th plague. What is the 8th plague? Yesterday we mentioned there were 7 plagues. The 8th plague was locusts. At that time, God had already sent hail to strike Egypt, struck and ruined Egypt's crops. But at that time, some crops hadn't yet grown. After a night, or perhaps a few days later, God instructed Moses to strike Egypt again. Now, let's see what God used this time to strike them. He used locusts to strike them. Let's read it. The Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and tell him everything I command you, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials, so I may perform these miraculous signs among them, so that you may tell your children and grandchildren, and the wonders he performed among them, all of which will be heard by your sons and your grandsons. And so you will know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said to him, "Thus says Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, how long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, so they may worship me. If you refuse to let my people go, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your country. They will cover the ground until it is black. Locusts will cover the ground, even what survived the hail. The locusts will devour everything. After the hail struck, whatever remained of the crops and all the trees in the fields, your palace and the rooms of your servants, and all the houses of the Egyptians will be filled with locusts. Never before have your ancestors or their ancestors since ancient times seen such a plague of locusts as this." After Moses finished speaking, he turned and left. At that moment, Pharaoh's servants said to Pharaoh, "This person has become a snare to us. Let the people go, so they may worship the Lord their God. Don't you realize Egypt is being destroyed? Egypt is already nearly ruined. Don't you know this yet?" Indeed, Pharaoh's servants said to Pharaoh, "Let Pharaoh allow the Israelites to go." At this point, Pharaoh called for Moses and summoned Moses and Aaron back, and told them, "Go, worship the Lord your God." But who exactly will go? Moses answered, "We will go with our young and old, our sons and daughters, and our flocks and herds, because we must hold a festival to the Lord and offer sacrifices." At this moment, Pharaoh said, "I will let you and your children go. The Lord is indeed with you, but you are up to no good, unbelieving. Only the men may go and worship the Lord your God. That is what you requested." At this point, Moses and Aaron were driven out. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your staff over the land of Egypt so that locusts may swarm over the entire land of Egypt and devour everything growing in the fields, everything left after the hail." Then Moses stretched out his staff toward Egypt all that day and night. The Lord brought an east wind upon the land. By morning, the east wind had brought the locusts. They invaded all of Egypt and settled heavily on the land. There had never been such a severe locust plague before, and they were never seen again after that. Locusts covered the entire land of Egypt, so much so that the whole earth was darkened. There were so many locusts that they covered the entire land. The locusts even blocked out the sun. The locusts devoured all the vegetation on the ground, even the fruit on the trees, those that had survived the hailstorm. Everywhere in the land, whether trees or field crops, not a single green thing remained. Not even a trace of green was left. They probably ate all the grass too. At this moment, the Pharaoh hastily summoned him. He summoned Moses and Aaron. "I have sinned against your God, Yahweh, and against you as well. I now earnestly beg you to forgive my sin once. Please plead with your God, Yahweh, for me, so that I may be delivered from this death." Pharaoh spoke very earnestly. Then Moses turned away from Pharaoh and pleaded with Yahweh. Then our father Yahweh changed the wind direction. Let the strong west wind blow, carrying away the locusts, blowing them into the Red Sea. Not a single locust remained in all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh hardened his heart and still refused to let Israel leave Egypt. If God destroys a person, it is because that person's heart is hardened. Glory be to the Father and the Lord. Amen.